Welcome to Swoon Worthy. If you've listened to us before, you know that this is a podcast for period dramas. We typically take one period drama, whether it's a movie or series, and discuss it in detail. Occasionally, we do some different episodes, like this one. Today, we are recapping the Oscars that aired this past Sunday, March 2nd. My name is Carly, and I'm joined by my dear friend and frequent co host, Stephanie. We are both huge Oscar fans. I've watched this show every year since I was in eighth grade. Back in college, I used to throw Oscar watching parties that Stephanie would also attend. And, we tune in every year. So we thought we'd record our chat for listeners. And it's especially fitting after doing a biopic episode, which was the last episode we posted, where we ended up talking about all the Oscar nominated and Oscar winning performances of the past that were also biopics. All right, Stephanie, so let's chat about the Oscars. We got to see the 97th Academy Awards. Is that it?
Yes. Yes, the 97th. Crazy.
Crazy. We're going to really celebrate when it's the 100th. I'm excited about that.
I know. Can you imagine? I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, I wonder what they're going to do, if it's going to be special somehow. Maybe a 6-hour ceremony instead of five.
Well, if they did do 6 hours, maybe they could actually do the in memoriam and remember everybody and include
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. Oh, like do your research, people.
I can't even believe who they left off. I mean, it's insane. And then with the Screen Actors Guild Awards last week, they actually did capture many of the actors that they left off at the Oscars. So you think they could have watched that and been like, "Oh, you know what? I forgot." French actor Alain Delon, Shannon Doherty, Olivia Hussey.
Yeah. Yeah. And Carl Weathers, like
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
And of course, Michelle Trachtenberg, that was a very recent event, but I was really hoping to see her on
I
there.
know. Yeah, she was such a big part of our childhoods growing up, and she's pretty much our age. So, yeah, that was a tough one, and she definitely deserved the recognition. But maybe she'll be included next year. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it seems like they really missed the mark there. But let's start at the beginning. So the first opening scene, of course, the Wicked tribute, that was good. When that came on and I was just blown away by the performances of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, I was like, this is going to be a great show. Did you feel the same way?
Yes, yeah, we were all really excited once it was announced that they were going to be singing maybe like a Wicked medley. And it was very cool that they did The Wizard of Oz and The Wiz and then did Defying Gravity. Um, yeah, I mean, they're just so insanely talented, and getting to hear Cynthia Erivo do Defying Gravity, I mean, she's so effortlessly talented. And ever since I saw her on the Tony Awards when she performed for The Color Purple, I have been obsessed with her, and she so deserves to be on that stage. So it really did set a tone for the show, although, it had its ups and downs, but it was definitely a highlight.
I agree. And I loved their gowns that they wore. They had the different gowns for the red carpet, of course, and then here they are. I mean, first off, I really did love Ariana Grande doing Somewhere Over the Rainbow and then in the red ruby slipper-esque gown.
Yes, yeah, that gown was so beautiful, except for the stupid shoe on the back. Oh my gosh. But her shoes that she wore, they looked like
Yes.
Dorothy's shoes, and the dress itself, it's easily the most beautiful thing I've ever seen her wear. I've never been a huge fan of her style or her music.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But she's so talented, and she looked beautiful.
Yeah, that gown blew me away. And then Cynthia Erivo's dress was also beautiful. And it
Yes.
and like when you saw the full gown at the end, there was some like green, almost like an ombre kind of look at the bottom of it. Of course, it was more of a cream color with the florals. It was so pretty.
Yes, it was so gorgeous. Yeah, I loved it. I thought they did such a great job. I don't know who designed that like white or off-white gown that she was wearing.
That one was Vivienne Westwood, and Ariana's was Schiaparelli. Yeah. So I think it started out very strong. And then, of course, Conan, we got to mention Conan as the host. I think he did a great job, especially in the opening segment.
Yeah, he was so great. I mean, I knew he was going to be great. I love him. I used to stay up really late to watch him when I was a little kid because I just loved him so much. And I think everyone loves him and knows that he's
hmm
classy and, nobody was worried about him, but he did a great job. And yeah, I loved him.
Did you have a favorite joke or call out?
Um, I did like the after Flow one when he said, "Your move, Estonia." I thought that was funny
Yes.
because he
Oh my
just made that
gosh.
up, I'm assuming. And um, oh, there was another one that I'm forgetting. And then, of course, the one about Honora and someone finally standing up to a powerful Russian.
Yes, that one was
That was
good.
good.
I love his comment on Timothy Chalamet's pastel yellow suit and saying like, "Love that suit. You will not get hit on your bike tonight." And then it made me laugh out loud when he made the comment about, watching The Wizard of Oz and someone thought, "Sure, but where did all the minor characters go to college?" Oh gosh.
Yes, yes, because Wicked, it's so ridiculous. I loved the movie. It was wonderful and, the Broadway show, but it's kind of silly. I mean, these people are like in their mid to late 30s and they're supposed to be in school. It's like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I loved that.
Yeah, that one was great. So yeah, Conan was great. We got to see Adam Sandler do the Chalamet joke again. Loved it. Yeah, so the best supporting actor was the first Oscar to be announced, and we had Robert Downey Jr. kicking it off, which was nice. He's always
Mhm.
very, very good on stage.
Yes, yeah, you can always count on him to be entertaining.
hmm And I mean, both supporting actor awards were pretty expected this year. I think they swept through the Golden Globes, the BAFTAs, the Screen Actors Guild, so we knew who was going to win. But I loved, I love them both.
I think this was the most predictable category for sure. Everyone knew Kieran was going to win. It was not a surprise, but he is a very unpredictable person. So, we were all looking forward to his speech for sure. And yeah, I love him, and I loved A Real Pain. I thought it was just such a great movie.
Yeah, yeah. I actually haven't seen that one, but I'm going to watch it. I saw that it's streaming now, so I'm going to catch up.
Yeah.
And Zoe Saldana, of course, Best Supporting Actress. I did finally watch Amelia Perez. I mean, Zoe Saldana, such a talented actress. I think you and I have followed her career for a long time now. In the Screen Actors Guild Awards, they were doing like people's first roles, and they put Crossroads for her. And I was like, guys, center stage, right?
Yeah, I honestly don't know which one came first. I feel like we were in high school when both of those movies came out.
hmm
But yeah, we loved Center Stage when we were in high school, and she's so great in that, like her sassy character.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, she's been a great actor for a while now. So it was cool to see her win. Regardless of what our opinions of Amelia Perez may be.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it. And she looked lovely. I really liked her dress. I don't know, it was different. It was the bubble dress, the dark red, crimson, with the gloves. I thought she looked very pretty.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I liked the I liked the color.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't my favorite dress, but she's beautiful.
Let's just keep going with the acting awards here. So, best actor, best actress in a leading role. I think both of these were so 50-50 for the most part. They could have gone either way. And in our biopic episode, we were definitely talking about Timothy Chalamet's performance as Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. And we were rooting for him. He did a great job, and it would be nice to see a fresh face on the stage, not to diminish Adrian Brody's, acting skills. I love Adrian Brody, but I think we were kind of hoping for Timmy.
Yeah, we definitely were, and I think we're all kind of worried that he's going to get the Leonardo treatment,
hmm
because they are so similar. We have been comparing them for a long time now. But he talked on SNL recently about how he loses everything, and he really does, but he's such a gifted actor. He's also humble and just so likable. And Adrian Brody, not so much as we saw from his speech. I know you and I have always liked him as an actor,
Yeah.
but I think he's kind of revealed some things about himself during this
Mm,
campaign.
yeah.
He's a little insufferable, maybe a little arrogant,
Yeah,
and his performance used AI, which I don't love. But
I know. I know. It
yeah,
just, yeah, like you said, I don't think his speeches come off as maybe genuine and as authentic and as humble. And this is saying Timothy Chalamet for his Screen Actors Guild acceptance. He even said, I'm aspiring to greatness, and he said all these really bold things, but at the same time, you felt they were just so authentic and they weren't coming from a place of conceitedness.
yeah, I think that's kind of rare. Just he's such a unique character, and he has been from the very beginning. Like with Call Me by Your Name, when he like really shot to being like an A-list actor. He's just always had such a unique quality about him. I don't know. There's definitely people who are criticizing that speech, but I totally thought it was a really
Yeah.
cool, bold thing to say.
Yeah, I've mostly seen positive things about that speech. So yeah, I was really kind of hanging on to a little bit of hope that he would win. But then I think that I, in my gut, I thought Adrian Brody would win because I was thinking of how like the voting when the Academy was voting, when the voting was happening, it was right after the Golden Globes and the Brutalist had a peak press time and it was before the AI information came out.
Yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
hmm.
And I thought The Brutalist was a biopic, but I just found out like it's not even about a real person, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, no, I think it is fiction. It is
Yeah.
fiction. Or like, they drew from some real people. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm still gonna watch the movie probably at some point, but I had been planning to like, clear my schedule and go out to the theater to see it. And then after the AI news, I was a little discouraged from that, I would say.
Same. Yeah. I was totally game to watch it even though it's so long, but and I'm sure it is a good movie. I love any World War II era movie that's,
Hmm.
there are always good learning moments, but yeah, I don't know. Adrian Brody and his attitude this award season has just kind of put me off a little bit.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, and you and I joked when the AI news came out and it said that they used AI just to make the Hungarian accent even more authentic and real. But we were joking how they often just use British accents for movies, period dramas set in Europe, and we believe it.
Yeah, they could have easily just been British and everybody would have just been fine with it because every character in every movie, I mean, look at Gladiator, like they all have British accents and it's like we just accept it.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I don't know why they risked it, but we'll see. Then we have the Best Actress in a Leading Role category, and this one was also pretty split between Demi Moore in The Substance and Mikey Madison in Anora. Those were the two front runners, at least.
Yeah, I haven't seen Honora yet, but it seems like Mikey really deserved it. Like there's nothing but praise for her performance and she seems so classy
Hmm.
and yeah, I would have loved to see Demi win. She's such an icon and she was great in The Substance. It's a crazy movie, but she really, put it all out there and she went for it and I thought it was really brave and
Hmm.
it's been just really cool to see her have this sort of comeback.
Yeah, and her Golden Globe speech was so moving. Like that was, I'll never forget that. And so I also thought because of the same thing with The Brutalist, that after the Golden Globes, people had time to still vote for this. And I really thought she was going to get it. But I did watch Anora the night before. So my husband and I actually have this new tradition. It's a very unexpected tradition where we end up watching the Best Picture movie the night before the Oscars for the past 3 years. So we did Everything Everywhere All at Once, Oppenheimer, and then Anora this time. So that's just been funny, but really did like Anora. Yeah, it was kind of everything. It was like humor, drama, just uniqueness. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I love
Hmm.
that. Yeah, it definitely seems like it was deserving of all of the attention.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Sean Baker usually has some cool things to say. I've seen, some criticisms of him,
Oh,
but
really?
I remember watching The Florida Project, and that was a pretty powerful movie.
Mm.
And yeah, I need to watch it. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the points he made because he took home 4 Oscars, so we did get to see him on the stage quite a bit. But he's been saying this all award season. We got to support the indie filmmaking community, of course. So yeah,
Yeah.
gotta keep them going. And same with the cinemas, the independent cinemas, theaters.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. There's nothing like watching a movie in a theater, and especially the little independent theaters. Those have become like my favorite places in the world. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so other highlights of the Oscars, I do want maybe a little more song and dance tributes to classic film. That's those are usually my favorite moments. And with this one, we did have like a Bond tribute. What did you think about that, Stephanie?
I thought it was so random. I just didn't get why they were doing that. Um, I don't know. I mean, not to say that the people involved were not talented. They're all, very talented performers, but I just didn't really get it. And I don't know, it made no sense to me.
Yeah, no, agreed. And some of the visuals, the costuming, the choreography was cool, but it was still just kind of confusing. And if they had the time to come up with this number after the news of, them passing the torch with the Bond franchise, how did they not have time to put some of these people in the in memoriam segment? Sorry, I'm harping on that.
No, I so agree. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
just random. Like they put a lot of effort into that, obviously, but I don't know. It made no sense to me.
Very strange. Ben Stiller was funny. I liked his little bit. That was silly.
Yeah, that was silly. He's always funny. And I saw the glam bot on the red carpet. He did Blue Steel
Oh,
on
did
it.
he?
Yeah, he did. He brought it out. So loved that.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's just talk about let's segue into the red carpet because that usually comes before the Oscars, but I really wanted us to get talking about the award winners. However, the red carpet, I mean, one of the best parts of the Oscars. It really builds the anticipation. You get to see what everyone's wearing. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the red carpet. You get to start like texting your family and friends, like, "Ooh, did you see so and so?" And yeah, that's always fun. But yeah, I there were some really good looks. I loved Coleman Domingo. I mean, he always knocks it out of the park, as we like to say.
Yes, and in that bright red, such a good
Yeah,
color. Yeah. Pop.
Valentino. It reminded me of the Valentino that Pedro Pascal wore to the Met Gala because he wore like
Yes.
a bright red Valentino coat with black shorts. It must be like from the same collection.
That's so fun. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Stunning looks on some of the men too. I mean, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum in Prada, he looked so good. The colors were so pretty. And yeah, he's always best dressed along with
Yeah.
Coleman.
Yeah. Yeah, those two really stood out. I mean, I did like Timothy Chalamet's suit, like this pastel yellow. People are calling it a stick of butter costume. Like,
Yeah, that was Givenchy.
hmm.
Yeah, he always does something unique, and I appreciate that for sure.
But I did like the SAG win look even better, the lime green or the bright green and black.
Mhm.
I wonder who that designer was. Speaking of Givenchy and a complete unknown, Elle Fanning in the white. with the black bow, the white lace. This was also a replication of a vintage dress. She is always my favorite on the red carpet, and she didn't
Yeah.
disappoint this year.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be one of your favorites.
Yeah.
It's just so classic and so pretty. Yeah, she's always great.
Hey, I mean, she did play Catherine the Great, so there you go. But yeah, I love her looks. I love her style. And you know what? My top three gowns of the night were all the white dresses. It was hers and Givenchy, and then the two Chanel dresses, Lupita Nyong'o's
Mhm.
and Penelope Cruz. Those were my three favorite.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
Lupita was definitely one of mine, and I think she said that Chanel was like from a '90s collection, which that's what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. It was beautiful. Yeah, I didn't love Penelope Cruz personally, but
That's fine.
I can see why you would love it. And I mean, she's always stunning.
Mhm.
But I really loved Demi Moore. She was in Giorgio Armani Privé, and she just looked like a trophy, like it was
Yeah.
the perfect like form-fitting gown, and it had like accentuation on the hips and stuff, and yeah, it was beautiful. And then Halle Berry in Christian Siriano, she's just so beautiful.
Yeah, that was such a show-stopping dress, like amazing. And I thought it was really cool that she did, kind of do the Bond presentation moment. And then, we already talked about that. She also did snog Adrian Brody on the red carpet.
Yeah, yeah. That's I know we've had a lot of discussion over the years about that kiss that happened when he won, and it's a little cringe, but I guess she's cool with it, so
Seemed
that's
like
that's
it
great.
because she seemed to initiate this one.
She did, yeah, she totally did. I don't know.
So funny. I do love a Dior gown. Those are usually my favorite. So Mikey Madsen in the black and pink. I really did love it, but at the same time, I felt like something was missing from it or something. Anyways, I figured it out today. I think it would have just really elevated the look if she had gloves with that dress. I
Hmm.
don't know, because of the style of it.
Yeah, because it's so retro. It's very like '60s maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like
Um,
I could see
yeah,
Audrey wearing it, Audrey Hepburn.
yeah, I could definitely see like Natalie Portman wearing it too because she always wears Dior. She's like
Yes.
a spokesperson. J'adore Dior.
Je t'aime.
Um, but yeah, it was pretty. Definitely not my favorite, but I do love a retro look, and I do love
Yeah.
Dior.
Yeah, no, it was like I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, and I really think that I will stand by that. If she had gloves, because I think I noticed this when she was next to Zoe Saldana with the gloves. I was like, they both had the same kind of cut, the same kind of style of dress, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I just would have added that, and she would have looked, I don't know, even better.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think that would have definitely elevated the look.
Yeah, but that's just my opinion. But I think, it was a nice red carpet. I I still think back to some of our favorites throughout the years, like Julia Roberts, Halle Berry's when she won.
Hmm.
Oh, was it just last year with Carey Mulligan in the vintage black and white 1950s Balenciaga gown? It was so form fitted to her silhouette, strapless with the opera gloves, and then the white tulle at the bottom. It was just decadent and beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I believe that was last year for Maestro. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she does always look beautiful. Yeah, it's so interesting how some of the women choose like these incredibly boring gowns, usually like Louis Vuitton or something, and it's like, why did you choose this
I
of all the gowns
know.
you could wear, or of all the suits you could wear? There's a lot of cool suits out there for women. But yeah, yeah, I think it was good. Also loved Divine Joy Randolph. She looked so
Oh, she did.
beautiful.
Yes, yes. Beautiful.
And
So pretty.
June Squibb.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about her.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
her so much.
yeah.
Yeah, that dress was beautiful, and her little moment presenting with Scarlett Johansson was definitely one of the highlights of the show for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love her so much.
Yeah, no, that was good to see her on the stage. And yeah, yeah, she was very sweet with Scarlett. Some of the pairings are always interesting. When they go up to present the awards, some work, some don't, but A lot of comments on Andrew Garfield and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, Baby Girl too.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of that.
That's so funny. I really liked Scarlett Johansson's navy blue velvet gown, again, wearing gloves. This one was by Terry Mueller, blue velvet, very elegant. Speaking of blue velvet, have to call out Isabella Rossellini. She's been one of my favorites for interviews this award season. Of course, she had the Best Supporting Actress Oscar nominated role and just a brief role in Conclave, but it was so powerful. Love her. And seeing her always makes me think of her mother, Ingrid Bergman.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's so beautiful and so classy, and I love that she was there with Laura Dern.
Love it. And her blue velvet as a tribute to David Lynch, but then she was also wearing her mother's earrings.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
Hmm.
think about the blue velvet. That's so true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that they were there together. But David Lynch, why didn't
I
he get more of a tribute? So crazy.
I feel like they could have easily done a really, cool tribute, a Lynchian tribute. I mean, I was a little
Yeah.
bummed about that. And then, yeah. So I don't think it was the best Oscars ever as far as presentation, but, you know, you can't win them all. And we did have some great moments, memorable moments.
Yeah, definitely.
Stephanie, other than the acting categories, do you have a favorite?
Well, I think we both love costume design. That's a huge topic for you, and I thought the way that they presented costume design this year was so cool. I loved it. It was probably the best part of the show for me. It was so funny and so personal too,
Yeah.
which I thought was so cool.
Yeah, they did the same thing for production design too.
Yeah, they did it for a few awards, and I thought that was really cool because they didn't even do that for like the lead actor awards. Like they gave them no time.
Yeah, I was wondering though if they cut it just because of time, if they had a longer segment planned and they had to cut it. We'll never know. But yeah, the best costume design. So they had each had like a backdrop, projection of the costumes. So someone from the movie come out and introduce all five of them. And of course, Wicked was probably the favorite, but they were all beautiful and stunning.
Yeah, this was a tight race, I feel like. I mean,
Mm.
it could have been anyone. They were all such great costumes, and we've talked about some of them, like Gladiator 2 on the podcast. And I loved Nosferatu, and those were incredible costumes as well. But yeah, the little bit with Bowen Yang coming out in his actual costume was so funny.
That's so
And
funny.
yeah, Paul Tazwell ended up winning for Wicked, and I actually got to see some of the costumes from the movie in person at the Arlington Museum of Art, and they were so stunning. Like the detail was so beautiful, and yeah, I think it was well deserved.
Yeah, no, truly deserved. And that's very cool that you got to see them in person. Some of these movie costumes, we've gotten to see some. We saw some of the Disney live action ones at that same museum, but it really makes me want to go see exhibits more. I know there's like a Downton Abbey exhibit out there.
Yeah, definitely. Because, these are usually handcrafted in, the period drama case. Sometimes, they are sourced and, thrifted and things like that. But
Yeah.
just like the craftsmanship that goes into them is so cool. And yeah, and also he's the first Black man to ever win the award, which is also, it's crazy. Again, we always talk about like how has it taken so long for these things to happen, but a really cool accomplishment for him.
Definitely. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think production design, it also went to Wicked. Dune took home sound and visual effects. I feel like that was somewhat expected. I mean, I remember seeing that movie in IMAX and it was incredible.
Dune 2 definitely deserved that sound award, and it deserved so many other awards. It's kind of crazy that it didn't get more recognized, but I loved the shout out to Denis Villeneuve in that acceptance speech because he's an incredible director.
Yes. And I think it was the visual effects guys when they were walking by. I don't know if you saw that video of Timothy Chalamet. He looked so excited for them and they had an interaction and that was a cute video to surface.
Yes, yeah, I did see that. I love that. Just another example of how charming Timmy is.
Hmm. Certainly. And let's see, are there any other awards we want to talk about? I think you mentioned animated film.
Yeah, yeah. So I did see The Wild Robot and Flow this year. And then also Inside Out 2 was, I think, like the highest grossing movie of the year or close to it. I knew this was going to be kind of a tight race and any of them could have won. But I love that Flow won because it was the first award ever for Latvia.
Oh.
And it was an independently made film. Like only a few people were involved in the making of it, and it's such a beautiful movie that literally anyone and your pets can watch. I've seen so many videos of pets being captivated by the movie. Um,
Yeah,
but
I have
yeah, if you
too.
haven't
Yeah.
watched Flow yet, watch it. It's so, so beautiful, and I just love that they won.
Yeah. No, that was exciting to see. Very exciting. And it also made me think, I'm surprised there's not like a voice acting award at the Oscars because that's such a unique thing. Um, I could see that happening in the future. And then makes me think too of who is it? Nick Offerman who did the announcing at the Oscars.
Yes. Yeah, he did a great job. It was fun to have him there. He's such a lovable character.
So funny. Did you hear him mispronounce Amy Poehler's name
No, I
on
didn't.
purpose? He said Amy Poehler.
I love that.
Yeah. And then that made me think too, I wonder if Amy Poehler could be a host one year. She presented this year for one of the awards.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I would love that so much. Of course, her and Tina, they're great, great hosts together. But yeah, I could definitely see her doing it on her own. Everything she does and says is so funny to me. Like she'll never
Yeah.
not be the funniest person in the room. I'm getting
Hmm.
to see her and Tina this year in like a month or so. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
that's so fun. Oh my gosh. I wish I could go with you.
I know, I wish you could too. But yeah, that's a good point.
Hmm. One other just, note, I didn't love the choices they made for like the acting clips this year. Sometimes I feel like when they're, leading, going through the nominees for the actors and they have to choose, just a little soundbite from their movie. Sometimes I'm even watching the movie and I'm like, this is what they're going to use for the Oscar nomination clip, or you know what I'm saying. But this year I felt like they were a little awkward or just off, and I don't know, whoever did it this year, I didn't think was the best.
No, that's such a good point. I think about that too all the time. I'm like, I know what they're going to show. But yeah,
Hmm.
they chose weird ones. Yeah, I mean, like for, I've talked about how much I love Sing Sing. For example, they chose a scene that I would not have chosen. It's of course it's great. Coleman Domingo is great and everything, but yeah, there's other scenes they could have chosen. So that's yeah,
Yeah.
interesting point. And they didn't
Yeah.
even show clips for the supporting actors.
Yeah, they didn't do the clips. It was just a little strange. And I'll never forget when I watched Black Swan. I probably watched it a couple times before it was even up for the Oscars. I was like, I know what clip they're going to use for Natalie Portman, and I was right, and I'll always be proud of that.
Yeah, the bathroom
The
stall
bathroom
when
scene.
she got the role. Yeah.
Yes. But anyways, yeah.
It
Was
was
there
a good
any?
year for movies for sure, and I'm excited for next year. It always makes me I'm always sad when the Oscars are over, but this year I'm kind of like tired,
Yeah.
like with especially with Amelia Perez and how much I just don't like it. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for next year. I think next year's going to be a really good movie, a really good year for movies and TV. So I'm excited.
No, I'm with you. I feel the same way. Was getting a little fatigued and we can move on. I do think it was a good year for movies. A lot of really interesting, unique ones. Yeah, I definitely did enjoy watching Anora, so recommend that. But I want to see more period films just to bring it back to the theme of this podcast and my Instagram account. You know, a lot of people say Little Women by Greta Gerwig is not their favorite, but I just loved how that film was revered that year and how it won, nominations and awards, and so I'm really hoping for like a very strong period film to just, get in there and sweep the awards maybe next year.
Yeah, that would be cool. We'll be on the lookout for it. I know I talk about Sing Sing and how much I love it. The
Yeah.
filmmakers behind it, they're Texas filmmakers, and they're
Yeah.
just really cool. They had a film that just showed at Sundance called Train Dreams,
Oh.
and it's starring Felicity Jones, I think,
Ooh.
and Joel Edgerton. And I believe it's a period piece, and everyone says, like, I've heard so many people say it's the most beautiful film they've ever seen. So be
Oh,
on the
and
lookout
Carrie
for that one.
Condon. Carrie Condon was is
Oh yeah,
good.
she's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay. Cool.
the writer that I met and told I would cheer on at the Oscars, he directed this one.
Ooh,
So I feel like
yes.
they're gonna be back at the Oscars, and I'm like forever attached to them now. Like I want them to succeed. So be on the lookout for that one. That might be one of
I
our
love it.
hopes.
Yeah, I've already just looked it up on IMDb, added it to my watch list, going to add it to my letterboxed watch list if it's already there. So thank you for that, Stephanie.
Yeah, of
And
course.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you. This was fun. I felt like we were probably gonna have a deep dive on it just naturally in conversation anyway. So why not record it and share it with our podcast listeners? So thanks for chatting with me, Stephanie.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. And yeah, this is like our favorite thing to talk about. So it was a blast, and I hope people enjoy it.
Yes. All right, everyone. Catch you next time.